So tell the audience, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Errol McGlashan, as you know, and affectionately, well, I like to say affectionately known as Uncle Errol, because of my age. I'm usually older than a lot of the people on the poetry scene, and I call myself a spoken word artist. When I say spoken word, I'm not just talking poetry though, I'm also talking public speaking, stand-up comedy, which I've got into lately, which get ready for that, and yes, and anything where words are either eloquently or educationally spoken, you know, so I'm someone with something to say, and it seems like people are more likely to listen to me if I can craft what I'm saying, and I use spoken word to do that.
And you do that very, very well. One of the most prolific spoken word artists, when I first started performing and I watched you, I was actually taken aback. You did your piece, The One Drop, about Stephen Lawrence.
About Stephen Lawrence, yes.
And I was
for that.
Totally blown away. Yeah. Totally blown away.
Whenever there's a slam going on and I think I'm going to lose, I just pull one drop out of the bag, you know what I mean? Because that tends to get the people. And I wrote that at a time, you know, it was heartfelt. That could have easily been me. You know, that could have easily been me. I spent my adolescence running away from skinheads, you know. I went to school in Hillingdon and there wasn't many black people in the school, so this is why I'm so fast.
Okay, thank you. So, as you can see, we've got two amazing guests. It's going to be definitely an interesting show. I'm sure.
So, going back when you was talking about the oppression and that when people feel so oppressed that their natural state is rebellion, and it should be, yeah. I question this oppression. I do question it, you know. I remember the oppression that I suffered when I was young was white boys calling me a gollywog, you know what I mean? I've got to say, and one thing that reminded me, like when you're saying about Twilight, your name is Twilight, the friendly white guys used to call me Twilight because Twilight is just before dark.
Yes.
You get it? Just before dark, yeah? So that was a friendly term which was used. I am not seeing the oppression that young people are getting in Britain, which is causing them to rebel in the way that you're talking about. I see lots of opportunities. Yes, I know. And I say this, I know, and people want to get angry with me and they want to fight me over it, but I see lots of opportunity. Now, in life, yeah, when you've got goals, there is going to be some sort of obstacle, you know what I mean? No one's going to make the way for you. Life is a tragic place, you know what I mean? Just living, no matter where you are, if you've got certain goals, certain things are going to go in the way, you know? I just think, you know, if I'm ill in this country, I know I can go to the doctor, I can go to the hospital, I'm going to get an operation, you know what I mean? I'm going to get operated by the best people in the world, you know what I mean? They're going to do their best to help me get better, you know what I mean? Education is everywhere. Nobody's stopping anybody from learning anything. You can go and do it yourself, you know? When you talk about, you know, people talk about cups and the youth clubs and all the rest of it, listen, there's youth clubs everywhere. I go to adult gymnastics. You want to see the amount of people who are going there, you know? There is funding, there's organisations, and they exist just for the purpose of giving money to people who have got a business idea or who want to do something, want to do better. So you go to university, they're paying for it, they're paying for everything.
Okay.
So I'm asking, where is the oppression apart from a few overzealous coppers who, when they arrest you, they get a bit heavy?
I'll give you one example. You just mentioned universities. There's universities everywhere. You can get education. Recently, in the last few years, tuition fees used to be £3,000 for your tuition fees. They've raised that to £9,000. Now, if you
10 years ago, it was free.
And it was free. Now, what that does, by placing that monetary value on it, it excludes. Now, if you look at our society, from where you're sitting, you think everyone's got the same opportunities.
I think it excludes people coming from another country who haven't got that money.
No, it excludes people who haven't got enough money, because £9,000 a year to pay back.
There's a student loan.
Yes, there's a student loan.
I don't see the coppers side. And please, if I interrupt you, please stop me.
This is what he's like. Uncle Errol,
sometimes I have to, because this is the common way of speaking. There are more and more people people with this widening diversity and participation, there are more and more people going to university than never before. You always hearing about these people. I'm the first person, or I'm the second person in my whole family, generation of family, who's going to university. When I was young, university was never spoken about. They used to speak about prison. I grew up in Care, they used to speak about prison, you know what I mean? I was told the statistics, you're 5 times more likely to go to prison than you are to university. These statistics were given, you know what I mean? But nowadays, university is spoken about at school all the time. It is expected almost that you're going to go to university. You have to cut in. You have to cut in seriously, because he will keep going. Permission to put your hand over my mouth and everything.
If I could, I would.
The National Office for Statistics, say that when we go through the secondary school education, and we come out of secondary school, that we will be less likely to achieve what our white counterparts achieve.
That's a form of oppression. I'm going to forget what I said. Please note how disciplined I am being right now.
He's being extremely good, guys. If you know Uncle Errol.
People are watching. Go back to the education. I just want to say
the thing
something
is,
about
we're supposed to be interviewing you, but we've gone straight to the discussion, but it's amazing. Come on, let's go.
There are health and safety standards, you know what I mean? I got a letter the other day saying someone's going to come round to my council flat to check if there's asbestos there. Everyone, you know what I mean? I live on a estate with thousands of flats and that. Everyone got that, There are health and safety standards. Now, I know there are problems. I know sometimes they don't reach the goal they're meant to, just like me when I got a certain goal and I don't reach it. They've also got this issue, you know what I mean? But they are there. There are health and safety things in the factories and, didn't mention factories, but the houses, you know what I mean? There are people going around testing the water. The reason they're testing the water is because they know there is a problem. And they're not pretending to do it. They are going around. They drill the hole in the wall and they're talking about asbestos, and then they're making a date to come and shift it out. So I'm saying that there are
what I'm saying, you do very good.
I really want to respond to about 10 more things.
But what I think Twilight's trying to say is that it's a perception. And I think you're with that perception that, if everything's all right, you've grown up.
But also, I'm seeing a perception here. So I'm not just going by my perception. I'm going by my experience. I know there's nothing stopping me from what I want to do in this country. Nothing stopping. I can't go to America because I've got a bit of a dodgy background, you know what I mean? So it's going to, please don't get me famous in America, because I won't be able to go over there and perform, because they probably won't let me, unless, you know what I mean, my mate Trump sort of has a word, you know what I mean? No, I'm joking about that. There is a perception of oppression. There is a perception of unfairness. In my experience, as I'm walking around, I'm not experiencing it. Now, I just want to go back to the education thing, right? Remember, they do these tests on black kids and white kids, and they see the black kids, and the black kids have got better eye control than the white kid. They can hold their neck up. They're more aware of their bodies and all the rest of it, you know what I mean? But when they come out of school, something happens in the education system which kind of sends them back, you know what I mean? Now, I'm not denying that there is a thing, racism. I'm not denying that. There is that. But I would say it's just one of these things that we have to overcome. We whinge. I'm sorry, I don't want to offend anyone. I think we whinge way too much. Let me tell you, education doesn't just happen at school. The crap that you learn at uni, you don't need it. Most of these people going to uni, they don't get, you know what I mean, big jobs afterwards. They're working in Tesco's, they're working in McDonald's, you know what I mean? It's not everything that cuts out to be. I believe that the best education you can get is that when you learn how to learn. I used to work for London South Bank University. I used to work for an organisation called LNU Plus, London Language and Literacy Unit, and we used to teach learning styles. And we used to say to parents, listen, you are your children's first teacher. Not the school. You are a partner. Do not expect the school and the unis or whatever to teach your children everything.
Okay.
You learn it in life, you learn it around the dinner table. The whole curriculum is on the dinner table, you know what I mean? So, you know, this
Yes.
idea of
Yes and
it
no.
not being fair because black people, I tell you what, every uni I go past and I performed in unis, there's blackheads everywhere. I'm not seeing what you're saying. As I've always said, there is always going to be some sort of obstacle to do the thing you want to do. Now, this person who was a doctor in Jamaica, a mechanic in Jamaica, and then he comes over to England and his qualifications are not relevant. They ain't going to make him be no doctor or thing, which I don't believe. You're a doctor, you're getting on the books. But anyway,
No,
I know something.
No, because I can't accept that because you're dismissing history.
No, I'm not dismissing it. I'm saying that it does happen, yeah? So people come over here with qualifications, their qualifications are worthless over here. What's the choice? Do you whinge? Do you complain? It's not fair, or do you bloody go back to school again and get the qualifications which they want?
The older generation didn't.
Qualifications what they want. You so many black doctors when you're at St. Thomas Hospital. There's tons of them.
My main point is this. The Windrush generation experienced that.
No.
Now you got young people, young black professionals, young 30-somethings, young 20-somethings in the city now still experiencing the same thing their grandparents
and there are people addressing it by this, what do you call it? I've got some solutions to life crime.
Okay, I want to get you on to at least perform a poem before
maybe
you
I'll
go.
do half a poem.
So, I mean, if you want to say, if you want to add something to that, because you know you're going to keep going. But what I'm saying is, I want to get you on, and we're actually.
I will perform a poem, but we didn't get a chance to talk about the poetry.
We didn't get a chance to talk about anything because
and
we
I'm
went on
going
the
to say,
rant.
right, what you're talking about is interesting, it's not deniable, but I don't think it helps with the day-to-day stuff what we're dealing with now, you know what I mean?
Okay.
The kid walking with a knife today or walking with one next week, him knowing all of that ain't going to stop him doing that. What's going to stop him from walking with a knife? You stop him and search him and take it off him.
Right.
Or the parents stop him and search him and take him off him. Or you check your knife drawer. Or you speak to the younger siblings and say, what's he up to? Or you look on his phone. Or you speak to his friends and find out what's going on. Get involved in your child care. There's stuff to do there.
Right,
the
so
poetry awards. Can I set up here?
Yeah, so basically, Uncle Errol, go step into the booth. Uncle Errol and myself have been nominated for the Poetry Award for Best Spoken Word Artist. So before...
Maybe I should speak. So, if you listen, can I just say, right? Vote for me, yeah? Vote for me. But if you're not going to vote for me, then vote for Natural Rights here, yeah? And you go onto the Poetry Awards.
So you can do the poem here. So basically, poetryawards.com, vote for Uncle Errol, vote for me.
Natural Rights. Forget all the other wannabes. Ignore those other names.
But you can do your poem. You can do your poem sitting here because we've run out of time. So you can sit here. You hear it. We've got a mic. So
you know what? See, I'm writing a poem about knife crime, but no, let me do Stephen Lawrence, yeah?
Go on
because that was a knife crime.
You can do it right here.
Okay, so, I've performed this so many times, so I feel a bit guilty that I need to bang out something, but, so, you know, it's about the one drop, you know, the one drop of blood that got the killers of Stephen Lawrence banged up, you know what I mean? And like years ago, when they found this one drop of evidence, they didn't have enough DNA to catch up, and then there's probably all this racism, what was going on in the police force, so they weren't too worried about it, you know what I mean? Anyway, the one drop got me thinking about the song, yeah? You know the song? You know the song? I'm going to sing that for you, yeah? Why feel it in the one drop, you know that song? We're building a rhythm when Bob Marley did rock steady, don't you know me? I'm the beat that the drummer did drop, instead he liquors with a rim shot, and didn't we all feel it in the one drop? When one was dropped into those coloured slots, one drop divided up into racial constructs, but one drop must have got into the melting pot. Yo, tell me where your people from, because we're all freaking mixed up, but check your pedigree and I bet you find that one drop. Well, it was the one drop that decided whether you got a share of the pot or whether you had to leg it from the lynch mob. Yo, you lot, keep up, I'm telling you, even if they found one drop, you got popped. Yet, it was that one drop of pluck that runneth over the cup that gave Rosa Parks the pluck. She said, you know what, I ain't going to give my seat up. And while I'm at it, let me explain my personal position. For now, I'll tick ballot box, I'll even sign the petition. But if we cannot cotch at the table and suck from the cup, then we'll down and we'll mash it up because the one drop cannot be stopped. It's existed over epoch and it comes in many constructs. We are not just that one drop in the ocean. Open your eyes up and you'll find the whole ocean in that one drop. So stick that in your homeopathic concoct. And nowadays I've been immortalised, I've been popularised by medicine, media, CSI. And you want to know why? Well, it takes a little while to unlock my mystery, but every time they spot me, I make freaking history. So, you know what? When they lunged up at the bus stop, that modern day lynch mob, probably all self-medicated, you know, shored up. They were definitely premeditated because they were tooled up. And you know the upshot. Run, Stephen, come on, keep up. If they catch us, we're fit as... My boy ran 200 yards until he stopped, until he dropped, bleeding profusely from 2 fatal cuts, which dumbass cops never even tried to stop and apply a little first aid balm. And you saw in the Voice newspaper the Photoshop of a mother face palm and a dad with his hands over his head. Tops, yo, pops! How you gonna clean this one up? Not with 1,000 mops. A police investigation, you what? It was a cock-up that a crooked cop had been paid to obstruct. I mean, the examination didn't reveal the one drop. One drop ain't so easy to spot, but you know what? They just gave up. Locked stuff up in a property box to moulder and rot, leaving those little fascist free as Scott bowling round the state like they was a top-notch. Just watch. In her grief and despair, she called on me, the one drop, and we made a pact then and there that we'd never give up. As long as her veins held one drop, she was going to keep bringing it up, and Stephen was not going to get forgot. So with me, the one drop, she filled up her pots. When they run up over, she got out her mop, and she forced those fascist cops to clean their shit up. And you know what? Things actually changed. Laws got rearranged. That racist institution was named and shamed, and when science finally caught up with me, the one drop, well, that's when it all came on top. I was the one drop that made the lies stop, and at least 2 of those little bashes are banged up. And I know nowadays it's kind of cushy, but for the next 15 years, they ain't gonna get no pussy, because that kind of thing just ain't allowed in prison. And there may come a time when we can forgive them, but that time ain't right now. So you know what I say? And I think whenever Stephen is brought up and I think about what it has taught us, it's the same old cliche said in so many better ways: you never give up. And when your arse is down in the fire, we're calling that one drop, and you know what? You're gonna find a reservoir. Why you, one drop dedicated to Stephen Lawrence and Doreen Lawrence's fight for justice.
Fantastic, thank you. That's spoken word. Artist of the Year nominee,
Yes.
Errol. Uncle Errol. Thank you so much, guys. We've run way over time, but it's been a brilliant show. I think I'm going to have you back, Twilight.
No, man. He said it all.
Yes, we'll put the email address out, we'll put some links to some of your workshops and to the Poetry Awards.
Yes.
I'll make sure that's added on.
Yes, and I've got to say, there's tons of poetry events, so you know, if you're interested in coming to poetry events, I'm always putting stuff on my page, and my Facebook page. I'm not really savvy. This weekend, well, we've got Moetry. What day is Moetry?
We're going to be performing on Sunday the 8th at an event called Calm.
At Calm, and it's during the day as well, so please come along. Can I just say, tomorrow there's Flow Vortex, which is a really good night as well.
And Poetry Prescribed on
Saturday
too. So that's that's the event that we're going to be performing at with Moetry.
And I'm in a film, and there's going to be a showing for that.
Okay, so it's been a brilliant show. It's definitely been a whirl.